Sup beautiful people, it's your girl Andrea and welcome to my YouTube channel again. So today we're gonna be talking about how I got bullied for being mixed. Now I know there are a lot of people out there who are like me, not necessarily in my case, but who are different one way or the other compared to a lot of people or a huge population. And go through stuff like this on a daily basis. Maybe not where I am now, maybe other places, different situations. You never know. So, this is just to help you all know that you're not alone in this, and there are people who are actually struggling with this or who have gone through it, and letting you know, speaking out for ourselves. So, how did I get bullied for being mixed exactly? Well, the same way a lot of people get bullied for being white, for being black, for being a bunch of other colors and other skin tones or races. Well, we call it racism, but here's the point. Well, a little backstory. I spent 12 years of my life in Nigeria. So basically, I grew up in Nigeria. And by the time I was 13 till date, I moved to Romania. And a lot of people would probably be like, um, well, maybe you were only bullied in one place or another. Well, initially when I was in Nigeria, I was like bullied for this problem, and I was like, you know what? Maybe if I move to Romania, it's gonna be different. Because in Nigeria, it's like I'm too white for them, and over here, it's like I'm too dark for them. So, how I actually got bullied, story time. Let's move on. Since I was little, like since I was in kindergarten, in school meetings, not really like school gatherings and all that, it could be trips, it could be just a combination of other classes and all that. I mean, my classmates already knew my situation, they got used to it, but not in the beginning. So, the first time I would say that I actually got bullied that I remember of, I was like 3 or 4, and I was in the first year of kindergarten. So I remember this girl who would usually be like, don't near her, because I was like, I've always been this introverted, shy kid, and I was like so scared to talk because I had never been to school as of then. And I was like, I don't know what they could do, because you know, in Nigeria, the way to discipline there is different. I knew about that one. So I would always whisper, like I only spoke when my teachers spoke to me. But this girl, I mean, obviously being a mixed person in Nigeria, it was seen as normal for people to want to be your friend. And of course I was open to new friends, just that I didn't know how to make them, and still kind of don't. But there was this girl who saw that I brought a lot of attention. Like, a lot of people wanted to be my friend, and let's just call her the queen bee. Or at least what a lot of people would see her as. So I would remember that she would tell them not to be her friend if they think I'm prettier than her. Like, we're talking about 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds here, so it's pretty shocking. So I would say that that was my first time being bullied, but you know, that's kids' life. That isn't the main story. So mind you that this video is basically times that I've been bullied, things I've been through as a mixed person, especially in Nigeria and in Romania. Don't worry, I'm gonna get there. Just be patient, and just hold on. So most of the times I got bullied as a kid, like just in elementary school slash primary school or kindergarten, was mainly, I would say, immature stuff, and by queen bees, let's say, like really proud kids who, let's say, already had lots of friends and probably felt like I was there to take their friends. Like growing up, my mom never really treated me differently. Like I grew up like every other kid in Nigeria. At least like most kids, just yeah, just well, okay? And I was never really told if I was white, black, mixed. Like I always saw everyone equally. So starting school, I guess that was one of the first triggers that was like, so I am not like them, or at least that's what they see me as. So we're done with the kindergarten parts. We're done with the kindergarten parts, right? Great. Now, while I was in, let's say, elementary, middle school, primary school in Nigeria, about the same thing happened to me as well. Queen bee stuff, okay? I would just assume that those were kid behavior. I mean, I I'm very much aware that that was bullying, but to most Nigerians, they would be like, it's just kids play. Now, the main time I was actually bullied, like actual bullying, was in secondary school. Now, mind you, that in secondary school in Nigeria slash high school, it was very normal for your senior to discipline you, like punish you or stuff like that. Although at my school, it was the law was banned. Okay, like although it was banned like a few days after I had gotten bullied. So here's the stuff. While I was in secondary school, I used to use the school bus. Like I wasn't a boarding student, I was a day student, and I was in junior secondary. Mind you, it was my very first year. We had just come back from the COVID-19 pandemic, the lockdown, and all of that. You get it. So I was using the school bus, and then there was this girl who also happened to go to the same church as me as of that time. I'm not gonna mention names. As of that time, she would always sort of bully me by asking me to, not really asking me, like she would tell me to give her my nose mask just so she couldn't be punished, and would threaten to punish me if I didn't. So basically, I would have to be punished by both. No. So basically, I would have to be punished by the teachers instead of her. And yeah, you get it. Like, she would always bully me a lot. So, mind you, that while I was getting bullied by this girl, it was always comments like, you think you're beautiful, you think you're this, just because you're white, just because you're this. I hated that stuff. Like each time I refused to do something, it would come as if I was arrogant or I was being prideful, and they would always make comments like, is it because you're white? Is it because you're this? Is it because of that? But mostly that is because you're white. First of all, I am not white. Let me make that clear, and it was always annoying. When I would say no or speak up for myself or like set boundaries, it would always come to them like, you're oppressing us, you're doing this, you're doing it would always come to them like, you're oppressing us. Which also reminds me of an experience over here. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there, okay? Great. So that was like part of my secondary school bullying, and now this comes to the main one. Like the one time I was bullied the hardest. And this experience, I just hope no one ever goes through this or hasn't ever, because I don't think I would wish this on my worst enemy, or I would. I mean, it depends. I gotta relax to say the story really, really well and detailed so I don't forget stuff. So, we had just come back from the whole pandemic, as I mentioned earlier. So, um, being a day student, mind you that I said that earlier, I used to use the school bus, but I used to use the school bus only coming from home to school. So, my parents were the ones picking me. Okay, my mom specifically would pick me after school. When did I start secondary school? I was about 11 or 12. 11, yeah, I was 11. And as of this time, I was still 11, I guess. I think so. Yeah, I was 11. And I was waiting for my mom to pick me with a bunch of my other classmates who were also really nice to me, mind you. Like, we would discuss, and as of that day, we were discussing as usual. This girl, mind you, that she was like so pretty. Like, I don't mean, like, I'm talking about pretty on the outside though. The inside needs more work, or at least it needed. She was very pretty, and I had noticed her a couple of times beforehand and would be like, she's fine, you know? So that day she called me, and before then, like that same day, that time, she was like talking with some of her colleagues or classmates that, um, this girl, like, what's her name, you know, like asking other people information about me. So she called me. At first, I was contemplating with my friends because I was talking with them. You know, I was like, should I go? Should I not go? Because I was scared. Okay, I finally went. And lo and behold, when I went, I had the worst insults in my life. Like, when I said I have never been embarrassed so much in my life. Okay, I have been embarrassed worse than this, but there's a balance there. I had never been so devastated in my life. She called me, and the first thing she was like was, "Do you think you're pretty?" Like, look, the way I remember that day, the way I remember that time, that's to show you how much it's really got to me. I mean, I was young. I was 11, and mind you that as of that time when I was 11, I was battling with acne. Like, I would wear the nose mask 24/7, at least when I went out, and wear the face shield over my face. Like, I would full on cover my face any way I could. But that doesn't mean, like, that didn't mean that people weren't still able to see my face. Like, I was super insecure here. And imagine an already insecure person having this from like a really pretty person. From my perspective as of that time, was like a blow to my face. It was like, can I just get buried like on the spot? You get it? So she was like, "You think you're really pretty?" And I was quiet. I was like, I didn't say I was pretty. You know, my head was down, and then I kept quiet for a while, and then I was like, I never said I was pretty. Like, I didn't want to say immediately before she would be like, "Oh, you're speaking after me." I don't even remember if I actually said something back to her, but in my mind, for sure, that was there, that I didn't think I was actually pretty. I never said so. And right from origin, I was never really that kind of person in Nigeria who would be like, "Oh, I'm obsessed," you know, captions, Instagram, Facebook posts as, um, the most beautiful girl in the world. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed. Like, I wasn't. Maybe I didn't have the confidence for that, but I just, even when I see stuff like that, I low key cringe. I'm sorry, I low key cringe. Like, now I am confident in the way that I like. Okay, not overconfidence, not insecure. You get it. So as of that time, she continued. That's okay. You thought maybe I would ask you personal stuff or really care about your life. You really think that you're so pretty just because you're white, just because you're this, just because you're that? Look, I don't care what nationality you're from or whether you're from the UK. I'm not from the UK, but everyone always assumed that I was British, and I am not. So she went on and went on and went on saying a bunch of BS that I do not remember, unfortunately, but I do remember the harshest words she used, and that was like, "You think you're beautiful just because you're white." And at that spot, my head was down, and My nose was leaking. I'm talking about inches. Okay, I was embarrassed. Like, you know how much I was crying on the spot. I was just like, can my mom just come now? Like, I just want to be out of here. And like, I would have gone out, but because my eyes were full of water and I had mucus coming down from my nose, like inches down, almost to my feet. If I turned around, it would be, and there were people gathered there. Like, other people were gathered there, my classmates, they saw it in pity. Everyone, like, they were telling her, stop, why are you doing this to her? Like, like, everyone was on my side here. No one was on her side. Each time I remember this stuff, I'm like, I know that it's usually normal for a lot of schools for seniors to punish them. Did she really punish me? Like, it was very obvious that she bullied me. She bullied me, and I didn't understand why. Because why? Like, what was the gain? What was the gain? I don't get it. Like, what was the gain? She was already pretty, like mad pretty. Yeah? Just not on the inside. I mean, before then, I never judged anyone. Like, normally I don't look at people that way. I'm like, oh, you must have some good in you, but no, her that day, I was like, you need work. You need some work on the inside. So, I would say that that's my worst bullying experience, because as of then, I was like young, but I was also mature enough to feel emotional pain, like, deeply. And that stuck with me for a very long time. It got to me. It made me even more insecure. I tried to fit in. Like, even till today, when I try to speak, because people are surprised that I can actually speak pidgin. The whole Nigerian pidgin stuff and whatever. Each time I try something Nigerian, it's always one person or the other being like, nah, you shouldn't speak it. This is something I grew up with, mind you. Like, I'm not gonna use pidgin in this video. But when I actually speak pidgin, it's not like I sound any different. Maybe to them, because they see me differently. But when they don't see my picture first, they're like, okay, I passed, nothing. Like, until they see my picture, they're like, nah, you shouldn't be using that. Okay? So I guess this is like the Nigerian part of me getting bullied because of being mixed. Okay? So we're gonna move to the Romanian part. So, the part I said that I would leave for later, okay, was even when I came here to Romania, mind you that a lot of people would be like, in Nigeria, go back to your country. Why are you in this country? It's not for you. You don't fit in. Like, some people, it would actually come from a good place in their hearts. But, one of those compliments which also feel like insults. That's how it felt. Call me too sensitive. I don't care. I mean, that's how it got to me, okay? It's not how it got to you. It's how it got to me. When I came here, I would post normally. Like, post little stuff. Maybe it could be me in my natural hair. Okay? It could be me in my natural state, such as my natural hair. It could be me doing something Romanian. But then there would always be those comments, especially on my WhatsApp status, maybe when I would post stuff about my hair, because, and mind you that my hair isn't even long. I mean, for Nigerian standard, somewhere here would be considered long. And that's how long my hair is when I straighten it. So, severally, I would post pictures of my hair straightened, even if it's not straightened. And then a lot of people would be like, you're oppressing us, they oppress us, that kind of thing. Like, you're oppressing us, you're showing off, you're doing this. I don't even be like, it's not like I'm even like, you know, look how long my hair is. Like, I don't even make direct comments on that. Like, I just post. For me, it's like something normal. Like, you get the point. So all of this is like, what am I doing? Because I do not want to make anyone feel bad. Okay? It's just like when you're eating in front of somebody who hasn't eaten for days. You know, some people would be like, you know, it's bad behavior. In this point, I didn't mean it that way. Okay? I didn't mean it that way. I posted myself as I am. I came as I am. And then you judge me in a way I didn't mean to be. If that even makes sense, but you get it. And not only that, like, it could be something as simple as doing stuff from my other half. Maybe something Romanian, something which for me seems normal, and to Romanians as well seem normal. And for other mixed kids in Nigeria, it may seem normal. Even to some Nigerians, it may seem normal. But then there will be those, you know, stuff which are like, you're oppressing us. You're oppressing us. Is it because you're white? Like, you know, I was once arguing with somebody. We were talking about between Central C and Drake. Who is better? For me, I am a Central C fan, a huge one, okay? A die-hard one. Call it obsession. It is low-key obsession, but still. And I was like supporting Central C. And before we knew it, it turned into a roast battle. And like, this dude roasted me, right? No comments. I wasn't like, yo, maybe is it because you're this? Is it because you're that? But then I said something that any Nigerian would also roast him with. And all of a sudden it's like, is it because you're from another country? Is it because you're mixed? You think you can talk to me that way? Is it because you're... You get the frustration. So I don't really understand this, because later a lot of people be like, we are so proud. I don't even want to put it as we. I know a lot of Nigerians who are also way, let's say, overconfident. You know, confidence is key, so let me not put it as overconfident. Pride. Like, they are proud AF. And I'm like, why don't you talk about that? Like, why don't you talk about that? Why always go for the mixed people or the light skins? I know light skins who actually are proud. I'm talking about have more pride compared to Romanians, you know, mixed people and all that. But the point is, why make my skin color the reason you're disrespecting me, the reason why you're bullying me? I don't bully nobody because of their skin color. Like, I didn't ask to be like this. So once again, this video isn't to tarnish the reputation of anybody. As you can see, I mentioned no names. Okay? It's not to tarnish the reputation of any country, because I have also seen unpleasant things here in Romania. Like a whole class laughing at me. I found it hard making friends here. Okay? A lot of things. A lot of very racist jokes. And I mean, there are jokes, but it's also the reality. Like, a lot of people, let's say, for example, not in my case, but for example, a lot of people wouldn't want to date a mixed person over here. My type of mixture, let's say. They would always assume that I am black and make, you know, racist jokes, and yeah, they didn't sit well with me at first. Like, I had to get used to all this stuff. So from both sides, I'm not trying to tarnish the reputation of any country or any people, but it's just a reality for mixed people. And not just mixed people of different ethnicities, maybe, of different races, maybe, or just different people. And I want you to remember that you being different doesn't mean you're bad, doesn't make you a burden. I want to make that clear. It makes you special, okay? I'm not trying to sound like Darman here, okay? I'm just giving you some word of motivation and not demotivation. So just take it. Save the thank you. So that's just it. If you found this video quite useful, or maybe you feel like someone deserves it, please consider subscribing. Maybe leave a comment on your experience, and have a lovely day and a lovely evening. Bye bye.